Friends, in today's video, we will discuss Nippon India Small Cap Fund. For quite some time, lump sum investment in this fund was on hold, but now the option to invest lump sum is open again. So the big question is, should you invest in this fund or not? And if you are already invested, should you continue or exit? As you might be aware, troubles began when Nippon India Mutual Fund has invested in the 81 bonds of Yes Bank. That investment of around rupees 1,800 crores was completely wiped out, which ultimately meant a huge loss for investors. After this, SEBI penalized Nippon India Mutual Fund and the fund's reputation took a major hit. Its AUM, which used to be over 60,000 crores, dropped sharply to around 57,000 crores. On top of that, the fund stopped accepting fresh lump sum investments. This made the situation worse. Investors were pulling money out, but no new money was coming in. Confidence among investors had also been shaken, which further dragged the AUM down. However, things seem to be changing now. The fund's AUM has climbed back up and crossed rupees 65,000 crores, the highest AUM among all small cap mutual funds. This suggests that investors' trust might be returning to this fund. But the real question is, has investor confidence truly came back? And has the fund's performance actually improved? We will explore these points in detail in the next section of the video. When we talk about the returns of this fund, it has outperformed its category averages in mid and long term. But in short term, it has underperformed its category average time frame of 1 year, and in 2 year time frame, it could only match the category performance. In 1 year time frame, while the category average return is minus 4.53%, this fund has delivered minus 3.23%. However, if we look at the other time frames, 3 years, 5 years and 10 years, the fund has delivered very strong returns and has consistently outperformed its peers. For example, over 3 years, the fund has given 23.94%, while the category average is only 21.26%. Over 5 years, the fund's returns are remarkable 32.11% compared to the category average of 28.72% only. That is a clear and significant outperformance. However, the most impressive performance comes in the long term. Over a 10-year period, the fund has generated 22.03% returns, while the category average stands at just 18.13%. Now, if a fund is consistently outperforming its category by such a handsome margin over a long term, it clearly cannot be considered a weak fund. And that is exactly why investor confidence in this fund remained intact. In fact, we are now seeing fresh inflows coming back into the fund, which is evident from its growing AUM, which is currently around rupees 66,000 crores. Now let us talk about the investment strategy of this fund. And more importantly, should you really invest in a small cap fund that has such a massive AUM? What could be the possibilities in the future? How much return potential is there? And will this fund continue to outperform its category like it used to? Or will its performance remain average, like it underperformed by around 3% in the 1 year time frame? When we look closely at the fund's strategy, we can already see the negative impact of its very large AUM. For example, in terms of asset allocation, the fund has invested 95.76% in equities, which is acceptable because it is an equity fund. It has not unnecessarily held too much cash, nor has it invested heavily in debt, which is a positive sign. But the downside in this, due to the huge AUM, the fund is being forced into over diversification. Managing such a large corpus with only a limited number of stocks is difficult. So the fund keeps adding more and more stocks. Right now the portfolio holds 237 stocks, while the category average is only 87 shares. Clearly, this over-diversification is a direct outcome of the high AUM. Now, what does this mean for investors? It means the fund is investing very small amounts in each stock, while other small cap funds usually invest about 8 to 10% each in their top 3 holdings. This fund's highest allocation is only 2.16% in the share of MCX, followed by 2.0% in the share of HDFC Bank. The remaining 235 stocks each have less than 2% allocation. So, even if the top performing stocks do really well, their impact on the fund's overall returns will remain negligible. simply because of over diversification and tiny allocations. There is another negative effect of the large AUM. The fund has been forced to increase its exposure to large caps. While the category average allocation to large caps is 5.7%, this fund has invested 11.74% of its corpus there. And remember, this is coming at the expense of small cap investments, which usually generate higher returns. If we compare small cap exposure, the category average is about 79%, but the fund is investing only 68.38%. As per SEBI rules, small cap funds must have at least 65% in small cap shares, and this fund is barely about that minimum. What is more concerning is that 6 months ago, the fund had 72% in small caps, which has now dropped to 68%. Clearly, its earning potential is gradually shrinking as it shifts more towards large and mid cap stocks. And there is another point, even with small caps, the fund is mostly investing in companies with relatively higher market caps, where the growth potential is even lower. The average market cap of its holdings is 21,461 crores, whereas the category average is less than half of that, just rupees 9,843 crores. So in the short, this fund is slowly moving away from being a true small cap fund. It is leaning more towards large and mid cap stocks, and even within small caps, it is preferring bigger companies where growth potentials are limited. Now let us talk about the risk ratios of this fund. The beta of this fund is 0.83, which is exactly the same as the category average of 0.83. This means the fund is not more volatile than the category itself. Now if we look at the Sharpe ratio, it stands at 1.35 compared to the category average of 1.17. This tells us that the fund has delivered better risk-adjusted returns without taking extra risk as compared to the other funds in the category. Coming to the alpha, and this is very important, the alpha of this fund is 2.73, while the category average is 1.75. Alpha basically shows how much extra return a fund can generate over and above its benchmark or peers. So this number clearly indicates that this fund has the ability to deliver superior performance compared to other average funds in the category. And in fact, if we keep the past 1 year aside, the fund has consistently proved this over the medium to long term by regularly outperforming the category averages. Finally, let us check the expense ratio. Here too, the fund is completely in line with the category. Expense ratio of the fund as well as of the category is at the same level of 0.64. Now at the end of the video, let us understand whether you should make a new investment in this fund, whether a lump sum investment is suitable, and if you are already invested, whether you should stay invested or not. From our discussion, it is clear that the fund's bias is shifting towards large caps and its allocation to small caps is gradually coming down. That said, it will still have to maintain at least 65% in small cap stocks. If we look at this positively, it can actually be a good sign. By shifting some allocation towards large and mid caps up to a maximum of 35%, the fund can bring more stability to its returns and reduce the chances of sharp fluctuations in its NAV. On the flip side, if we view this negatively, the fund's ability to generate higher returns could be somewhat limited, which may affect its future performance. In conclusion, overall, this fund remains a good fund. If you are already invested, you can continue to stay invested. If you want to start a new investment, you can go ahead, but do it gradually in smaller portions. Monitor how the fund performs over time, and if it continues to deliver well, you can increase your investment step by step.